27 Jahre ist er alt, er kommt aus England, war bei 6 Weltmeisterschaften bereits am Start im Alexandra Palace und er hat in diesem Jahr sein erstes Viertelfinale bei einem Major-Turnier geschafft, bei den UK Open. Die Rede ist vom Rockstar Joe Cullen.
In the quarter-finals of the Happy Bet European Darts Trophy. He's up against the only unseeded player left standing. And after some superb displays already on the final day of the tournament, can these two deliver something special as well? James Wade is through. A 98 average and a 6-3 win over Andy Jenkins. Michael Smith, the defending champion, averaged just over 100 as he saw off the Grand Prix champion Robert Thornton 6-4. And Mensur Suljovic with an average in excess of 103, hitting 3/4 of his darts at double and firing in a 161 check out, the highest we've seen so far this weekend. He has just seen off Ian White 6-3. As Russ Bray rather unceremoniously smashes the dartboard back into play. I thought Colin Lloyd had turned up for a moment there. So Cullen versus Snakebite for a place in the quarterfinals. It is Suljovic who awaits the winner. I'm Dan Dawson to talk you through it, and Chris Murphy's alongside me again.
Yeah, Joe Cullen, the only player left in this tournament that's yet to win a PDC title of any kind. Peter Wright has got a handful himself, including one on the European Tour. You'd think that Peter Wright may have more than that. He's been beaten in a couple of finals this year. Keeps running into Michael van Gerwen in European Tour finals.
Yeah, when he lost his first final was against Chizzy back in 2013 in Hildesheim. He lost that one 6-2. He then won in Dusseldorf the following year. Year after that, so last year, he lost to Kim Heidricks. Had darts to win that title in Sindelfingen last one of the year, and then, as you've mentioned, he's already made 2 finals this year. So, apart from that first year in 2012, he does make finals every year.
First leg, Peter to throw first. Game on!
They met at the match play, these two. First round, Peter Wright had the better of Joe Cullen then. He's generally had the better of Joe Cullen when they've met, and it's darts like these that have helped him. We said darts like these for Peter Wright.
Those darts.
Yeah.
In all kinds of darts.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to talk about whether he's using different darts on it. What we'll do is we'll say when he's kept the same darts.
Well, he has kept the same darts from the last round, but they are different from the ones he was throwing just a few days ago. And Paul Nicholson and I were commentating on his second round win over Andy Smith, a 6-0 win with 101 average. I mean, he was hitting 60% of his doubles. These ones, they're very similar to the style of dart that Phil Taylor throws. Very small, trimmed down flight, bulbous barrel. 6 grams heavier than the ones he was using previously. I mean, that is it's a weight increase of almost a third, but it doesn't bother him.
140.
Yeah, they're bothering that treble 20 so far in this match. 1-2-1 left after his first 9 darts.
140. Who do you require? 121.
Okay, both men on potential 12 darters. Not anymore, because Peter Wright does have a stray one, and he'll stay on the treble 20 there to try and leave himself double top.
81.
Finds his way through expertly. Now, Verdella. He didn't take out single 7. And Keith Della won the world title on it.
84.
So double top
required 40.
for Snakebite to draw first blood in this one. Going to clip it off the barrel underneath. Double-barreled marker now.
20.
Chance for an early break for Joe Cullen.
Didn't really give that last dart a chance. There was a lot of tungsten to aim at to bounce into the double top. Double 10 now for Cullen. And he gets it for a 15-dart break and throw.
Second leg, Joe to throw first. Game on.
Well, 3 clear darts missed by Peter Wright there. Yeah, Cullen, we said, the only player not to win a title. Also the only unseeded player left after Andy Jenkins bowed out at the hands of James Wade in the first match of this afternoon. So it's in stark contrast to last weekend, Dan, when... we
had 4 unseeded players make the quarterfinals.
Yeah, the seeds were tumbling in Riesa. Not the case here in Mulheim. Actually, the top 13 seeds have all made it through to this stage.
Stephen Bunting and Alan Norris, the ones to fall by the wayside yesterday. The last time we saw 14 of the 16 seeds make it through to the final day of action, you've got to go back to Hildesheim. That was the start of 2015, the very first European Tour event. That was the one where Michael van Gerwen beat Gary Anderson in the final. An absolutely ridiculously high standard game. Michael van Gerwen averaging 117.94.
Yeah, he's the top seed here after withdrawing last week, which made Peter Wright the top seed. Well, he was still seeded second because it was a withdrawal from MVG. He was done for, though, by Simon Whitlock last weekend, who takes on Mighty Mike at the end of this afternoon session.
$124.
Superb setup shot from Joe Cullen to leave himself double top. Missed tops in the first leg, but then took out double 10 for that break of throw, and he's going to get 3 clear darts here. Wright is down to a finish, but it's a big one, and Cullen for 2-0. And the unseeded player has started this off very, very impressively. And it is no surprise with Joe Cullen, because he has been playing very, very well all the way through this year. Had a final back in July.
134.
Number of semi-finals and quarter-finals. Had another final in May. It's very, very close for Joe Cullen just to go and claim that first PDC title. You feel that it's coming, but of course there's no guarantees.
They're starting to fulfill the potential that's been talked about for years. Beat Jamie Lewis and Stephen Bunting to get to this stage. He said that he was as nervous as he's ever been against Jamie Lewis, a good friend of his. He missed 10 match darts before finally closing it out.
Yeah, 8 of them were to win at 6-2, 6-3 and 6-4. So, I mean, it could have been a very comfortable victory for him. He was averaging around about that 100 mark for large parts of the game. It did dip as he continued to miss match darts, but he was back to his fluent best against Stephen Bunting, averaging just shy of the 100 and hitting 2/3 of his darts at double. And he's averaging pretty much that in the early stages here. Well, a little bit more, to be honest. Peter Wright looking to get a first leg on the board and is well placed so to do.
81.
Yeah, 6 darts from 103 if needed for Peter Wright. Probably not needed. Double 16 to get a leg on the board.
87.
Not just yet. And struggling on the doubles so far.
Yeah, well, he was very good in his doubles yesterday, as was Cullen, as we've already mentioned.
74.
Can he take out this double 8 to give himself something to build upon in this match? Last dart in hand, Peter Wright.
8 score.
Misses inside.
Joe, you require 124.
And this would be a steal for Joe Cullen. 124, treble 18 for ball. Doesn't get it, so stay on the 18s.
92.
And he sets it up. But Peter Wright, I mean, he's got to start hitting doubles sometime. Is this the visit?
Game shot.
Of course it is.
Peter Wright, full flag Joe to throw first. Game on.
Yeah, couldn't have carried on like that. He'd missed 3 clear darts in the first leg before Cullen got that early break of throw.
35.
Then 4 in that leg before finally pinning double 4 to half his opponent's advantage.
Well, just looking at the players we've got in action here this afternoon, as Cullen looks to fill it up and does so. That's 180 number 1 for Joe Cullen, first of this match for either player. Michael van Gerwen is obviously the big name that stands out, but we've seen a number of players
60.
Turn up here and play some phenomenal stuff. Yella Clarkson obviously threw 111 average yesterday. Kim Highbreaks looked like a man on a mission. He averaged 106.
64.
Michael Smith, the defending champion. For the last 2 years he's won this title. He averaged 100. James Wade, we know what he's capable of. Mensur Suljovic, fresh from winning his first PDC title, has just averaged 103 in a superb display. Genuinely, any of these guys could go on and win it. I care. Joe Cullen is a potential winner of this, even though he's the only one not to win a title and the only unseeded player left, as treble 19 would have left double top.
62.
Yeah, 60 left when he comes back. And Cullen wasn't favourite before this match, but he's becoming the favourite.
105.
Almost
a 60.
A perfectly executed game plan so far. Broke his opponent first leg. But he doesn't want to give him a shot at this 156.
50.
But he has.
Where do you require 156?
It's a big ask, but is by no means impossible. 156, treble 20, treble 20, double 18. Not to be.
Touch of pressure, and double 5, one of those awkward ones where if you go inside it you have to split. He hasn't done that. Getting closer. And he's in the bed. Joe Cullen leads 3-1 against Peter Wright.
Fifth leg, Peter to throw first. Game on.
And this is getting interesting.
Well, it is down to Peter Wright to up his level, because although he has missed a series of darts at double, he's only 1 out of 8 when he starts at double. The overall average at the minute, there you see. The overall average at the minute is in the mid-80s, and that is not what you associate with Peter Wright. Well, it's a little bit higher than mid-80s, but there is a lot of work to do for Peter Wright.
100. 96.
It would be a big win for Joe Cullen, as we said. Peter Wright has had the better of him in the past. 8-2 he leads the head-to-head stats.
Yeah, including the last 4, and 2 big ones on the telly this year as well, in the match play, which you already mentioned, and
150
at the UK Open.
They do require 160.
That was a game that Joe was so frustrated about. It was his first big TV quarter-final. And he was convinced. He was right there with Peter Wright, right the way through that. Only lost it 10-7 in the end.
65.
He was convinced he could have gone on. Peter Wright went on to make the final, and for the second successive year, made the final, was beaten by Michael van Gerwen.
40. Who do you require?
Yeah, he's been in a fair few major finals, Peter Wright. Keeps running into MVG or Phil Taylor. Wants a treble, just below, finds it. Now he wants double 8.
80. Joe, you require 150.
Slightly off target again, and Cullen will look at 150. Just wants to leave it handy and ask a question of Peter Wright.
64.
He's needed a few attempts at doubles in this match.
He has. He's not been good at killing legs off, Peter Wright. But nothing wrong with that at all.
Six-leg Joe to
that makes it 3-2.
Game on.
And Peter Wright is still hanging on in there.
41.
And for a lively start, both men have just suffering a bit of a dull period at the minute. We're not seeing as many big scores. The averages have just been
100.
dipping down to the low 90s, and although that's solid, we've seen today that these guys,
100.
they expect to be averaging the high 90s around about that 100 mark. That's what they think is a par performance.
Yeah, it's taken that to win a match this afternoon. James Wade almost up at 100. Michael Smith and Mensur Suljovic both going above the ton.
No, Ian White averaged more than 104, and he's got beaten 6-3.
Yeah, great game, that one.
100.
But Mensah has got the winning habit at the minute.
Certainly does. And as we've said before, you know, averages aren't everything. I remember seeing Joe Cullen in Sindelfingen at the European Darts Grand Prix. He managed to beat Raymond van Barneveld, despite the fact Barney averaged 111. It was the same weekend that Michael van Gerwen averaged 111, and he lost to Mensah. Balmy weekend of darts, and that was at the Glass Palace. The venue for our next European Tour event, that'll be next weekend.
Yeah, especially in this short format, you can see really high averages lose.
32.
Now, this is an opportunity for Peter Wright. He has stolen the darts effectively here. Can he make it count? If he can get the break, level it up at 3 apiece, he will be throwing to go into the lead for the first time in the match, but he's got to see this out first.
100.
Just a ton isn't quite as good as it might have been. 2 trebles from Cullen gives him a very realistic opportunity. Not that treble, Joe. There you go.
35. But you require 140.
Yeah, nice setup. Wright will get a shot at 141, but he won't get a shot at double to complete the combination. So Cullen needs 1 treble to give himself a shot at the double and restore a 2-leg cushion.
101.
Well, good setup shot from Peter Wright. Treble 7 leaves tops. Cullen, though, he's going to get a dart. Double 16 for 4-2. Great stuff, Joe Cullen. Nerveless. Nerveless stuff.
Peter to throw first. Come on.
They are the kind of shot that will win you games. We saw one from Michael Smith, a Shanghai finish against Robert Thornton that helped
60.
determine the course of that match.
Rattled snake bite.
96.
Sort of murmur around the crowd here. Capacity crowd again at Mulheim. 2,300 Germans here. The European Darts Trophy at the RWE Arena, and they love Peter Wright. They absolutely adore him, but right now
20.
he's coming off second best. I think that third dart may have got lodged in the flight of the second one. Can't quite tell.
Yeah, decent visit from Wright, but a treble or 2 from Cullen. He needs at least 1.
60.
The Wright favourite to hold, but well, that really helps.
177 would be a great setup. Well, he'll stay. Is it the other ball? Yeah, okay, 105. That leaves him a 2-darter.
Yep, good thinking. But what pressure is he going to be under? A lot, I think.
Oh.
A hell of a lot.
Wonderful stuff from Joe Cullen, a second maximum. Peter Wright still looking for his first one. Doesn't want one right now. He wants treble 20 for double 18. That's the first bit done. And that is the second bit done as well. And Peter Wright stays alive and closes the gap. But Joe Cullen is still in charge of this one, and certainly now
140.
2 legs away. Peter Wright has to win 3 of the last 4 legs, or his challenge at the Happy Bet European Darts Trophy will come to an end in the 3rd round.
It seemed to take an eternity to throw that last dart. Found its target though, so whatever he's doing works. But he's not just tinkering with his darts, he does change his pace of play as well, Peter Wright.
He does. I remember in the Premier League he started throwing a little bit more quickly, and I don't know if that was I know it was a conscious decision. He decided to do that. I'm not sure the thinking behind it, whether he felt that he got into a better rhythm, whether he felt that he had to do that. He wanted to be a crowd-pleasing player, if you like. I was always of the mind that he was actually a little bit more reliable when he slowed things down and took his time.
Well, sometimes he used to use his time wandering around the stage, geeing up the crowd before he had a shot at the bullseye. Never really worked out for him, that.
No, that one didn't, did it? He does change a lot of things. Obviously, his darts and little things, how he throws. He had a little spell where he used a finger, one of his fingers, on the point of his dart. So he was trying to copy how James Wade holds his dart.
100.
But you're never quite sure whether this is some sort of like scientific testing of his various bits of technique to see if something's better or not, or whether he's just sort of, if it's a bit of a, oh, let's give this a go for a bit, see what happens. You're not sure whether he's moving forward or just moving sideways a lot in his game.
100.
You've got to give him the credit for trying to find the extra edge to take his game to the next level. But it's Joe Cullen who could be moving to the next stage of this tournament as he takes out H and he's one leg away from sending Peter Wright packing.
Now and ever then, Peter. 3 legs on the spin. Oh, it'll be back home to Suffolk for you. And the unseeded Joe Cullen will be competing in the final session of action here in Mulheim. This is a free go for Joe Cullen, just to try and break the Peter Wright throw and close out the match right now. But he knows he has the throw in the next leg. That is when he would expect to get the job done if he can't get it done beforehand. Peter Wright has missed a few doubles, and Cullen, that will always keep him interested in the leg. Even if he's, what, 150 points behind nearly, as he is now.
He can't take anything away from Joe Cullen, but he has caught Peter Wright on something of an off day for his standards.
You can only beat what's put in front of you. Right now, Joe Cullen is beating Peter Wright. There is still one more leg to be won. 90 gets Peter Wright down to a finish. Joe Cullen's going to need a couple of trebles. There's one. There's another.
140.
And it's a nice finish, 152.
Yeah, right. 131 in front of him, and he's not going to get a shot at that. So Cullen wants 152 for the match and a place in the quarter-finals of the European Darts Trophy.
Joe, you require 152.
What a way to see this off this would be. Needs another one of those for double 16. Oh, well, he's gone the Devon Peterson route for double 16.
Peter, you requires 74.
Yeah, that was a bizarre moment yesterday, and Joe Cullen...
I think he might have pointed to Devon if he's down there.
Yeah, that's exactly what went through his head as well, Dan. But Wright will get a shot at tops. Will he take it?
Game show.
He has taken it, and Peter Wright lives on. One match start gone for Joe Cullen, but as you said, that was just a hole for Wright, so Cullen will want to get the job done this time, and he started pretty well. Doesn't even need a flight, and he gets as good as a maximum on his first visit.
Well, he missed a host of match starts against Jamie Lewis, as we've already mentioned. But Joe Cullen, having missed the dart for 6-3, kicks off 177, and that's a great, it shows great mental strength to miss a match dart and then put that out of your mind and fire in a perfect visit to start the next leg. And it's one where, you know, he may be forced to win it, because if he doesn't, Peter Wright would have the throw, and it could be taken out of his hands, the opportunity to win this match.
Yeah, had a half chance, we'll say, 152, but yeah, what a bizarre moment that was with Devon Peterson. I mean, Cullen landed in the same part of the board, but Peterson was actually aiming for double 8. He shouldn't have been.
Yeah, nobody really understood what was going on apart from Devon at the time, and it became clear that Devon wasn't quite sure of the situation. A couple of visits without a treble for Joe Cullen means that he is not as far ahead as he might have been in this leg. Peter Wright has an opportunity to just drag himself back into contention. And that's not really enough. 209 to see off for Joe Cullen. Troubles are drying up a little bit for Joe. It's a good job that he fired in that 177 to start, and he's left 116 for the match. Peter Wright, 2 trebles, gets into a finish. 3 gets into a very, very makeable one. What a time for a first 180 this would be. What an incredible visit from Peter Wright to pile on the pressure.
All about timing, but is it too little too late? But he is going to get a shot at the 120.
Wow. Well, the 120 from Michael Smith earlier on against Robert Thornton was a massive, massive shot. That 180 from Peter Wright to leave 120. Oh, he's hit the treble one and the chance disappears. Cullen will get 2 match darts.
Yeah, and look how close that was as well.
80. Joe, you require 60.
That might be that for the number 2 seed as the unseeded Joe Cullen looks at 20 for double top. He's got 2 darts at it. Takes a moment. Aims, misses, double 10.
46.
Well,
ladies and gents, please, the very best of order when the lads are throwing. Thank you.
Rush break calling for the best of order, but that 3 match darts gone begging, and 2 of them
40.
nowhere near.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well wide. Peter Wright, double top to take us all the way to a decider where he would have the throw. That is missed very, very low. Double 10. That is where it needs to be, and Peter Wright has suddenly...
The 11.
Well, is he favourite for this game now? You'd have to say he is. He's got the throw.
Game on.
Well, Cullen got away with match darts before in this tournament. Will he get away with it again? The crowd are making it clear who they want to win. And Peter Wright is doing his level best to ensure that happens.
140.
Well, we could... Oh, not the time for that to happen, Joe.
120.
Once again, he's had a bit of misfortune and then he's responded very, very well, but that is the last thing you want to happen in the deciding leg, to see a dart spat out of the 60. Peter Wright doesn't care.
If Wright carries on hitting 140s,
100.
but only a ton, so Cullen needs at least 1 treble. 2 would be lovely, but he's only got the chance of 1 now. And he finds 1 last dart.
This is anybody's game. Joe Cullen has had a problem this weekend when it's come to match darts. His doubling has been pretty good in general. It's just the match darts that have been tricky. Peter Wright has had problems on his doubles all day today.
121.
Well, the 1-2-1 gets into a finish. It could have been a little bit easier. Joe Cullen needs 2 trebles to get to any kind of finish to apply some pressure, and he's not going to do that. So Peter Wright, 6 darts from 140 for the match. A match that looked like it slipped out of his grasp. He trailed right the way through this game. He has never been in the lead, Peter Wright, but he may be about to go 1 leg up when it really counts in the last leg.
Another treble. He gets the other treble. Is he going to do it with a fanfare finish?
120.
But he'll come back, and it's looking like it's going to be a case of what might have been for Joe Cullen, but he can only apply some kind of pressure and try and force a miss out of Peter Wright.
Well, Wright has been missing doubles today. He's got 3 at double 10 for the win. Double 5. He misses inside. He's denied another match dart. Joe Cullen on 90.
Well,
both men have missed match darts.
Cullen's still alive. Another 20 will give him a shot at the bull.
65.
Oh, and he narrowly misses that target. Another match dart goes.
Peter required 20.
So Joe Cullen and Peter Wright will return. Can he finish the job this time?
This weekend has seen a number of games where both players have missed match darts before one of them's finally won it. We've got another one here, but I don't know who's going to do it. Peter Wright, double 10, moving across the oche, trying to find a way through. He doesn't even know where to throw from. Still double 10. Oh, it gets even harder. You've got to move there, surely,
on the
Peter.
other side, surely. Staying there, he's found some kind of gap.
10 score.
It wasn't big enough.
Joe required 25.
6 match darts for Peter Wright have been missed. Joe Cullen has missed 4 in total, and they've come in the last 3 legs. He's going to get 2 more now. Takes a step back. Double 8 for Joe Cullen for a place in the quarterfinals.
17.
He's missed
Thank
6
you.
now.
Please. Best of order, folks. Failure required 10.
Well, well, well.
This is unreal. Anguish for Joe Cullen.
A dozen match darts missed between these two. 6 each.
Game shot.
And it's lucky number 7 for Peter Wright. Snakebite living a bit of a charmed life in that one. Didn't lead until the very end of that match, but he's the man that moves through to tonight's quarterfinals, and they take on Mensur Suljovic. Crazy end to that match there. Cullen is out, Wright is through. We'll hear from Snakebite in just a moment, and then we'll be back with Kim Heibrecht against Terry Jenkins.
Seine Chancen aber nicht nutzen kann gegen Peter Wright. Und damit ist Snakebite der Viertelfinalgegner von Mensur Suljovic. Auch Joanne atmet durch, die Ehefrau von Peter. Das war eng, das war knapp. Congratulations. Congratulations, Peter. What a match, what a last leg. Unbelievable.
I'm shaking. I love you.
So, but the new darts are still working. They could find the double 5 at the end.
Oh, I just thought I'd make it interesting for the crowd.
Oh yeah, thank you very much, thank you very much.
No, I was very lucky, obviously. Joe should have won the match. But every time I play Joe Cullen this year, it's always been a close match. You know, luck will go on his side. It will do.
Mensur Suljovic is waiting. He's having a great development in the last 2 years. What do you think about him?
He's lucky, isn't he? No, I love Mensur a bit. He's a fantastic player. So it should be a great game, especially for this amazing crowd.
Thank you very much, Peter. We see you later again in the quarters. Peter Wright. Der hier gerade